I recently decided to rewatch a couple of old Top Gear episodes, so might as well talk about the cars featured in them. As usual, I need to acknowledge the red Toyota Hilux on the left, and deep behind the crowd there's the Jeff Electromobile that the trio made in the earlier seasons. But yeah, this episode starts by Jeremy standing in front of a Caterham R500, and then it cuts to James' narration about the Stig drifting around in the R Caterham 7 R500. Then James introduces the Caterham 7600R, and it's basically even a more crazy version of the Caterham 7R500. Yeah, the interior is simple, uh, not beautiful, I would say, but simple and very functional. I didn't remember much from this episode what James was talking about it, but he said that it was extremely lightweight, and it only weighs like a couple hundred kilos, and crazy acceleration, mind numbing and face altering basically. And yeah, he caught a bug or two without without a windshield that he had a complaint about. But yeah, overall, a pretty cool car, I would say. I would definitely want to try one. After talking about the Caterham 7R620 for a while, James later on introduces the Caterham 7 160, which is basically the complete opposite of the 620R. I think it's only like 17k pounds at the time. Meanwhile, the 620R was like 50 or something like that. And yeah, this is as simple as it goes. And obviously, James being James, preferred this one. I mean, I see it why, but I mean, it's probably a bit too slow. But yeah, at least it has a windshield. Quite a lot of Caterham versions were featured in this episode, and here you can see a 2013 Caterham Aero 7 concept basically. Which in the episode they were talking about that Caterham is definitely gonna make this one. But yeah, I looked it up on the internet, and shortly after this episode, Caterham ran out of money. Surprise, surprise. But it does look good, indeed. Such a shame. After a couple of more incidents with flying objects in James's eyes, they cut back to the studio, and the duo basically make fun of James as usual for preferring the slow and sensible car instead of the crazy and how do we even describe it? But yeah, the acceleration looked crazy. Then it was time to test just how fast they were going around the track. And as you may expect, the 620R was just sliding about, doing quite a lot of drifting by accident, while the slow, while the slow 160 version was just constantly falling behind. And here we can see the 620R, SLS E, and Lexus LFA type of speeds around the track. Yeah, pretty impressive. While the slow Caterham, I'm not sure if I remember, but yeah, it was like down on the list. Then the news segment came, and this was around the time when the National Corvette Museum had a little bit of a problem with a sinkhole like this, and some of the cars just fell in. And yeah, they were a bit mocking that, that yeah, the Americans don't care. And they were like, yeah, let's just keep it open because at least you can see it. They can still see the cars. Okay, they may be in a hole, but you know. In one of the previous episodes of the news, they were making fun of these type of signs showing useless info in the UK, and then Clarkson said that someone sent in this message, and they made a couple of jokes about this. Another news segment was about the new at the time Porsche GT3 991.1 that just came out, and it had a bit of fire issues regarding that. And as you may know, Clarkson, as usual, had some kind words towards Hammond and gifted him like cooking gloves with Porsche logos. The white GT3 991.1 is actually Hammond's car, and Clarkson here was trying to make a point that pizza is fireproof, and he asked Hammond if he could put a pizza to try out his theory on the car. But obviously Hammond refused, and here he decided to like apply it to attach the pizza to his cojones, and Clarkson used the torch for quite a long time. But yeah, pizza was fireproof for him. Then Clarkson started talking about coach building companies and how back in the day people could just order a body like this and send it to a coach working factory, and they would go wild and create some wildly iconic designs. Because if you wanted a special car, you could have done it. Clarkson then showcases some of truly iconic coach built vehicles. I have no, okay, that is a Mercedes, but yeah, I have no idea about this era of cars, but they look beautiful. Okay, this is a bit, oh yeah, this is like Scrooge McDuck type of car. That's the new at the time Mercedes S Class, and basically Clarkson talks here about that coach coach work has gone a bit more difficult because the whole body of the car uh, basically holds it together. Uh, it's not body on frame anymore, basically, and it's a bit harder for the coach work industry to change that much. I mean, it's still possible, but it's not like it used to be before. And that coach work is a bit of a lost industry in these times. And then finally, a 2013 Alfa Romeo Disco Volante is really revealed, which basically is a Alfa Romeo 8C with a coach built body by Touring. Then Jeremy showcases some of the iconic cars that Touring has worked on it. Basically, they designed Aston Martin DB5, DB6, among a lot of Alfa Romeo products. But yeah, like, look at that. Jensen Interceptor. Oh my god. I actually saw one in real life. Beautiful. The first Lamborghini. Yeah. But yeah, he talked about that Touring basically has come down to the level. They used to make so many beautiful cars, but now they were at the time stuck making those Bentley, Maserati hatchback things, shooting brake things. And now that they're back with the 2013 Disco Volante, it's changed the game. The more Jeremy drove the car, the more he basically fell in love. And just look how beautiful both of the cars even look. I have like mixed feelings about the Disco Land. I can admit it's beautiful, but some aspects are a bit not for me. But yeah, he's in love phase as he would call it. The mandatory acknowledgement of the 2013 Vauxhall Astra, or in other words, the recently prioritized car for the star. I honestly forgot who was the star in the recently priced car. I think it was some kind of a comedian, can't remember his name. But yeah, I usually check out when the star in the new recently priced car comes on. Not really a segment for me. But yeah, then Richard takes over, and here we can see a Lamborghini Aventador from 2013, basically, when Richard went to Dubai to see something special. Here we can see a Maserati Gran Turismo in a chrome wrap, interesting choice, and a Bentley Continental behind it, a Ferrari 599 GTB, and a Toyota Hilux. An interesting body kit for a Mercedes, McLaren, a Porsche Cayenne in the background, a Bugatti Veyron. I'm not sure about the other cars. Maserati Quattroporte, iconic sound. And next picture, please. Oh, iconic generation of the Mercedes C63 AMG. Ooh, iconic Seg CCX R. I don't know what the naming scheme of those were. Rolls Royce Wraith. Interesting color choice. Richard Hammond came down to Dubai to review this magnificent thing, the Mercedes AMG. I forgot the full name, but the 6x6 Mercedes G63. Oh, there's a E70 BMW X5. But yeah, iconic car. I think these days they cost like $1 million. Ooh, a Lamborghini Aventador. That was the time. Oh yeah, Ferrari FF and Mercedes SLS. That was the time when Dubai was marketing with a lot of expensive police cars and stuff like that. After driving through a pool and a couple of other little experiments, Hammond went to the desert and created one of the most memorable shots I remember of this G63 6x6. Like, Jesus Christ, such an iconic vehicle. That's a Nissan Patrol. Here he started to brag, like, oh, Mercedes SEL. But yeah, here he started. There's nothing bigger, nothing with more wheels, etc., etc. And then he came by to this massive thing. Ah, damn. Seriously, what size is that thing? Okay, Hammond for perspective. After the G6 by 6 segment, we went back to the studio and Jeremy talked about this iconic commercial of a BMW motorbike pulling down the cloth sheet from the table, and the car that Jeremy would use for his experiment would be the Nissan GTR. Uh, yeah, he tried to say, if I remember correctly, that cars are better than bikes, and he kind of succeeded, basically, is the answer. And yeah, that was about it for this episode. What are my highlights of this episode? Probably the G6x6 segment. I remember watching it like 12 years ago when this episode came out and being mesmerized by all the things that machine could do. And rewatching it now in 2026, I felt the same feeling. Nothing has changed. So yeah, that was probably the most iconic moment of this episode. Yeah, it was interesting to see the Disco Volante, but it's and the Caterhams, but those cars not the biggest fan of. But yeah, review probably like 7.58. Not my favorite episode. Some of the previous episodes in this season were more of my favorites, and yeah, that's about it. But what I want to say, I'm a bit tired today, so but I still wanted to create this video so I'm a bit more tame and not putting my thoughts together, but yeah, I needed to just keep up with the consistency of trying to improve every aspect about the whole everything I do. So yeah, next time probably most definitely will be better. See you around.